Hello fellow AFOLs and welcome to Long's Bricks. Today we are taking a look at LEGO Harry Potter set 40770, Hogwarts Castle Room of Requirement. It has 202 pieces, and this was a gift with purchase as part of their Back to Hogwarts promotion, which ran from 9/1 through 9/7, mostly to showcase their new Hogsmeade set that they had released, but this was available with any LEGO Harry Potter purchase of $130 or more. And you can see that this Room of Requirement is meant to show off the Room of Requirement from the last film or last book, where the Resistance at Hogwarts is kind of using it as their base of operations to hide from the Death Eaters. We have Neville Longbottom here. You can see they have like some hammocks and things set up. And we also have the portrait that they use to get back and forth from the school to the Hogshead in Hogsmeade. And yeah, just really neat. I think this is exciting. Front of the box here has a picture of the set, has the typical Harry Potter border here. Not really much going on the top or the bottom. You can see it just kind of shows you a couple things that are available here. I have as a 1-to-1 scale of Neville. Not really much going on the sides either. If we spin around to the back, it shows that it can close up and fit into the castle system, which I think is really neat. So you could slide that into one of the larger sets if you have it. I just think this is a really neat idea. It's a gift with purchase, but it's still compatible with the castle system instead of just being kind of a one-off. So let's go ahead and get this open. Opening up the box, you'll find that there are 3 numbered bags, a fairly modest sticker sheet, and your usual instruction booklet. So taking a look at our only minifigure in the set, we have an older Neville Longbottom. He has kind of a sweater jacket on here. Very simple. The print on the chest is nice, but the legs are very basic. There's no arm printing or anything like that. And then we have some printing here on the back. If we remove the hairpiece, we can see his second face is definitely an alarmed expression, which I think definitely suits Neville, but I don't know, it would have been nice to get a little bit more printing in terms of either the arms or the legs or just something. I don't really know what they would do, to be fair, but just seems a little basic. But I do really like his head and the 2 expressions that he comes with. And then, of course, he has his wand there as well. So here is our Room of Requirement fully completed. And I think this looks pretty neat. We'll start up here with these little hammocks. I think the use of these canopy pieces in green is actually really fun and smart. And you can see that it just clips onto this little section right there. And then it just comes down and there's a little stopper here. And then you can have your character sleeping in there like it is a canopy. I think that works really well. But if we kind of lift these up so we can get a little bit of light in here. We'll zoom in over here. So you can see we have a sticker here on the back for kind of a shelf with some random things. Looks like an old radio, a light bulb. Then there's obviously a chalkboard here where they've tried to work out maybe anti-spells for the Death Eaters. I'm not 100% sure. This looks like a little, like, megaphone or something. Or maybe that was like a telephone type device that they could speak into. I don't 100% remember what that was for. Here we have Neville's Mimblus Mimbletonia, which I think they did a really nice job with that. I love the inclusion of that here. And that just kind of pops on. Now we have this treasure chest, but it has a bed on top, and I'm not really sure why they decided to put the bed on top here, but this lifts open and you can store whatever you like inside. The beds are okay. As far as having characters actually sleep on them, as you can see, they would be way too large. Maybe if they had done a 2x4 instead of 2x3, but I guess it'll work in a pinch, just kind of like a little cot. Again, not really sure why they tell you to put it on top of the treasure chest here, but that is where they tell you to place it. Here we have a little fireplace, very basic, and then we have some steps up here to the portrait, and you can see the other characters walking towards them, and then this can actually swing open just like in the movie, and you could have characters crawl right through on their way to the Hogshead. Moving over to this section over here, we do have the Lost Diadem of Ravenclaw. I'm not quite sure why it would be in this version of the Room of Requirement, but I guess obviously they just wanted to throw it in here. If it had been in this area of the Room of Requirement, it would have been much easier for Harry. But they do have that included there. And then we have another sticker here on the back. Just kind of a random bookcase. You can see there's a little Cornish pixie coming out of a jar back there. If I move the lantern out of the way, we can see this, and I'll move the chessboard as well, so we can see that sticker a little better. Just some scrolls and some books and things. Not too much going on there. We have another one of these super tiny beds. I at least appreciate the placement of this bed. Makes a little bit more sense than on top of a treasure chest. But also because of what's on the back wall, the minifigure's hands can't really lay there. Like if you have the hand and I try to place him, see if I can get this to work. Yeah, he just can't quite connect because you can see there the hand is hitting into what I assume are supposed to be books or something. I don't know. The green and the orange is giving me pumpkin vibes, if I'm being honest. But yeah, so, but again, you could move that bed, you could take it off of there and move it around. I wonder if I just flip this the other way, would that help? Take the wand out of his hand. I still don't think it's going to work, unfortunately. I mean, you could kind of like, oh no, if I put the hand down, it should work. Okay, there you go. So you have to flip that one around. Maybe I did put that on wrong. I'll have to go back and look at the directions, but at least he can fit there now. So I appreciate, you know, they want to have some hammocks, some beds to accommodate as many people as possible, because in the movie they had quite a number of people occupying this space. Here's the little lantern that I removed earlier. Very basic. We've seen this in several sets at this point, and they just have that on the bed. And then we have the world's tiniest chessboard where the king is always in check. From the start of the game, you already can't win. Checkmate. But that is included as well, and they just have you put that over here on the side. But all of these things obviously can be moved around and placed wherever you like. And then, of course, all of this can fold up. And there we go. You can use this in the castle system. You can see that they put the little rail pieces here on the side so that you can slide it right in. You do have to, when you close this up, kind of, you can see, like, if you hit this, that'll hit into the canopy piece or the hammock piece. So you want to have to lift that up. And you might have to lift this up a little bit as well, just to get everything in here. I'm trying to think, is this hitting on something? Oh, I see. The bed is hitting onto the lantern because I spun the bed around. So let's put the bed back the other way. And then hopefully that should work. There we go. We'll push these back down. Now that is going to stick out a little bit. I don't know if it'll be an issue. I don't have the larger castle built just yet. And I honestly kind of wish, it's kind of a catch-22, because you want it to look like this for this opened section, but then when I close this up, I don't want to see the hollow side, so I almost feel like I would want to disassemble this part and flip it around. Which you could do, wouldn't be too difficult to do, but I kind of wish it wasn't hollow on one side. But I do appreciate the fact that this can close up and has the track so that you can slide it right into the other castle system. So that is pretty cool. So at the end of the day, I think this is a really cool little set. I feel like, you know, making it a gift with purchase, I can see it's like not so mainstream enough that maybe they didn't have faith in it to be just like a $15, $20 set. Who are we kidding? Probably 25 at this point. But I still think it could have sold. I mean, making it a gift with purchase, I don't think is a terrible idea. But at the same time, if people missed out or didn't even know about it, I have no idea what this is going to be like on the secondary market. Might not be too bad, especially if you try to move on it pretty quickly. But I think it's a cool little set. I mean, one minifigure, you know, you have this cool little build. It does fit with the castle system, which I appreciate. And I like kind of capturing that moment from the last film where you have the reinforcements coming from the Hog's Head and everyone else is just kind of hunkered down in here, you know, keeping safe from the Death Eaters. It's a nice little build. I like the little steps. I think you have a couple of beds here. You could accommodate, you know, 4 characters, theoretically. They're going to get really bored playing chess because it's going to end immediately. I love the inclusion of the Lost Diadem of Ravenclaw. I think that's pretty cool. Even though technically it's not from this scene or this version, they kind of had to all leave so it could transform. And that's the other thing. We've had so many different Room of Requirements over the years with the various castle systems. More recently, we had like the Patronus lessons. We've had the battle with Malfoy where they actually do find the diadem. So you could kind of use this one in conjunction with that one, even though that one wasn't technically part of this castle system. But it's just neat to be getting new scenes and new pieces of the films that they haven't really done before. And we haven't really seen this version of the Room of Requirement. So I thought it was really neat that they came up with this. And especially still made it work with the castle system. So again, if you were able to pick this one up during the promotional period, otherwise you'd have to go for it on the secondary market. I don't know what that's going to look like just yet, but if you can get it for a reasonable price, I mean, I think they valued this at 20 to 25 when they kind of showed the page for it as a gift with purchase. If you can find it for somewhere in the $20 to $30 range, maybe 40 tops, depending on how crazy this goes. I don't think I would pay like more than 50 for it. Hopefully, because it's still fairly new, it's not that bad. And also, if they didn't really sell out of these, it's possible that it could come around again as a promotion again with something else. We'll have to wait and see. But if you can get this one for a reasonable price, or if you were lucky enough to get it free, I definitely think it's worth adding to the castle system. I think it's a really cool little room here. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.